Bristol International Dragway, rich in drag racing history. Today, the most powerful nitro-burning machines in motorsports will battle for the richest single-event purse in drag racing. Legends like IHRA World Champion Gene Snow, 30-year veteran Connie the Bounty Hunter Coletta, IHRA Rookie of the Year Mike Brotherton, NFL superstar turned professional racer Dan Pastorini, veteran drag racer from the tiny town of Pullman, Alabama, Bill Mullins. Former drag boat standout and two-time national event champion this year, Jack Ostrander. Stay tuned for the best of the kings of the sport of drag racing right here on ESPN. Welcome to Thunder Valley, USA, the Bristol International Dragway in the beautiful mountains of Bristol, Tennessee. This is the Angus Nitro Showdown. Hi, everybody. I'm Ted Jones along with Brett Kepner, and we'll be bringing you all of the exciting action here today. What is the Angus Nitro Showdown?
Well, Dad, it's an event that's one of the first of its type, presented by the Angus Chemical Company. This 1987 season finale event on the IHRA Tour includes only the quickest and fastest 8 pro nitro dragsters that have been running on the IHRA Trail this year.
How were these dragsters invited here to Bristol, Brett?
Well, throughout the season in IHRA National Event Competition, the machines in qualifying sessions for each consecutive national event are awarded points for their ability to qualify near the top of the field. At the end of the season, only the 8 most consistently fast and quick qualifiers are invited to this $25,000 to win event.
Who would you favor today to win this Angus Nitro Showdown?
Well, there's really only one man to pick based on the performances through this year, and that's Gene Snow. He's already wrapped up the IHRA World Championship, and he's one of the quickest and fastest drivers out there.
Any dark horses in today's field?
Well, there are quite a few rookies in this program, including Mike Brotherton in his first year of competition, but just about anybody can win this show.
We'll be right back with more action in the Angus Nitro Showdown. Back at Bristol in the Angus Nitro Showdown, our first race today will feature the rookie Michael Brotherton against the veteran from Pelham, Alabama, Bill Mullins.
After starting his drag racing career racing motorcycles in the late 1950s, Bill Mullins' 20 years of experience behind the wheel of nitro-burning dragsters has made him one of the toughest in the sport. His machine, the Autolite Mr. Gasket Mullins Pro Nitro Dragster, is easily identifiable by this unique aerodynamic lip. Rather than just using the rear wing for down pressure, this lip keeps pressure all around the car at over 260 miles per hour. Mullins will be driving today using his experimental single-gear transmission, but in any case, this car has already proven its 5.4-second capabilities.
This is Mike Brotherton. Mike has a problem. He broke a fuel pump warming up just a few minutes ago in the pits, Brett.
Well, Mike Brotherton has done a tremendous job this year in his first season as he moves up against Bill Mullins in this matchup. The youngster that won his second race ever is going to have to give it everything he's got. They're staged, the green light comes on, and it looks like Mullins is out first. Brotherton trying to drive around him with engine problems, and unbelievably close battle.
You can't even hardly tell who won that. It looks like the winner is going to be Mike Brotherton. Let's take another look at it on the replay right now. You do see that Mullins is out first with the quicker reaction time. Watch them as they come off the pad right now. Mullins definitely ahead at this point. Now here comes Brotherton making his play at about the 8th mile mark. Wheels off the ground over there for Mullins. Approaching the finish line, and it is Brotherton.
Close. I saw him all the way. Bill's a good friend, and I knew it was going to be a close race. I'm surprised that it was that close, because quite frankly, he's been running real good. I'm just glad we were there.
So Brotherton advances to the semifinals, and now heating up the tires is the newly crowned 1987 IHRA World Champion Gene Snow.
There you see his opponent. That's Dan Pastorini, the NFL quarterback who has made it to 2 final rounds in IHRA competition this year. As a matter of fact, Dan Pastorini had a little something special going on this weekend, and Brett talked with him about it.
It's been a great week. It's almost like you don't really care how the car runs. I married a wonderful gal in Houston 2 days ago, and in fact, she's coming up here tonight to watch the race tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you, I almost hate to be the one to break the news to the millions of women who watch our ESPN drag racing just to see Dan Pastorini, but ladies, the game's over.
I don't know. I think the game's just begun.
Well, Dan had a lot of things on his mind during that interview. Right now, his concentration is on the Christmas tree. Stage, the green light comes on, and it looked like Pastorini may have left first.
Look at Gene Snow at the 8th mile. Look at that car move on the top end. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the ET on this. 5.34 seconds. 271 mile an hour. That is the fastest ET in history. Let's go to Brett on top end.
Gene, I don't think I'm telling you anything new when I tell you that was an incredible run. How about a 5:34 at 271 miles an hour, both ends of the track record by a bunch?
Anybody can be lucky.
That wasn't luck. From what I understand, when the car did the dry burnout on the starting line, it hooked like a rocket even then.
It's the best it's felt in a long time. It was the same tune-up we had at Rockingham that seems to work.
Well, with already the World Championship in your grasp, and now a shot at $25,000 in this program, like I said, I don't think luck is playing a part in the snowman machine.
I'm real excited. Thank you.
This is Jerry Marconi from Waconda, Illinois, the former drag boat racer, driver of the Gold Rush dragster.
And he'll be up against Connie Kalita, the 30-year drag racing veteran who has spent most of his racing career behind the wheel of a dragster of one form or another. This is the newest entry from the Bounty Hunter Flying Services stables.
As a matter of fact, Kaleta won the IHRA World Championship, Brett, back in 1979. Now, he's been around a while.
He repeated that World Championship again in 1982, and as a matter of fact, is one of the winningest pro nitro dragsters in IHRA history.
This guy's very cagey. Watch him pull off to the side. He's avoiding his own fuel spilling.
That's right, there's an overflow tube underneath the car, and because of the G-forces during the burnout, some excess fuel comes out underneath. Kalita does not want that fuel anywhere near those massive rear tires. He wants perfect, unobstructed traction.
Kalita can never be counted out in racing, but he's been trouble-plagued this year. This will be a real interesting run against Jerry Marconi.
There's no question Connie's had a lot of breakage problems this year, just little things that have broken his concentration. Right now, though, Marconi has got to try and beat the Bounty Hunter. The green light on there side by side, but look at Kalita pull away.
An effortless one-man drag race for Connie Kalita turns in a brilliant 5.40, 266.27 miles per hour. Now, Kalita actually was last off the starting line. Marconi left first, but Connie Kalita, a perfect run. He's hot today. Brett talked with Kalita.
Well, Connie, you're going to be happy with this one. Marconi finally just gave up. A 5:40 at 266 miles an hour. That's one of your quickest runs ever.
Yes, it is. We've run 5:30s a couple times with the car, but it's getting closer. It was 5:40, was it? Very good.
In typical Connie Kalita tradition, it's just another pass down the track, but you got to feel good about this one.
Yes, I do. Very good.
Good luck to you. This is going to make a big dent. I don't know if you know, Gene Snow ran 5:34.
I was back there watching on the thing, so it's going to be tight. We'll see you here at the fellow I run this round with the one that's up here right now.
Well, good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you. Good one, Connie.
Well, our congratulations from the booth to Connie Kalita in his fastest run after a 5.40. You're looking at the gauges right now of John Carey, the diesel mechanic from Dover, Delaware, as he cranks up his car for this next race against Jack Ostrander. Ostrander, who manages the bowling complex and used to drive 200-mile-per-hour drag boats. Ostrander will be going against Carey. Carey now qualified number 2, Ostrander number 7.
Ostrander's been in professional nitro dragster racing now for about 5 years as he boils the tires on the 300 bowl entry from Michigan. I should point out, Ted, that Ostrander is not a stranger to final rounds. Back in 1982 at Norwalk, Ohio, he made his first ever national event final appearance.
Well, and of course, Ostrander having won 2 IHRA national events right here this year. You saw him on ESPN. So you would have to say that even though he's qualified number 7, Jack Ostrander has to be a favorite to win this round.
Ostrander with a few unique tricks to this machine. The engine is much lower in the chassis than any other pro nitro dragster. But then you look at John Carey's machine, and it is one of the most technically advanced machines in any form of motorsports. There are so many aerodynamic tricks on that machine, Ted, it's almost impossible to make it go slow.
The new answer in pro nitro dragster drag racing has been the canopies, the small wheels. They're staged and ready, Brett.
The countdown, the green light, and it's side by side, but Ostrander overpowers the track, boiling the tires.
Well, another one-man drag race here as they seem to be having a lot of problems over there with that left lane. John Carey cruising to an easy win with a 5.43, 244 miles per hour. So as we go into the semifinals, it'll be Mike Brotherton against Gene Snow, Connie Kalita against John Carey.
Once again, the rookies take on the veterans as Connie Kalita gives us an indication of the power we're talking about as we'll be back with more action from the Nitro Showdown.
Gene Snow turned in a brilliant quarterfinal time of 5.34, 271.08 miles per hour. He'll be running this man, Michael Brotherton, who turned in a 5.53, 257.87. And there's Michael Brotherton burning out right now. He'll have his hands plenty full with Gene Snow. Snow started in the early stages of drag racing and now has the latest state-of-the-art top fuel dragster.
Easily one of the most sophisticated machines in today's Pro Nitro Dragster Showdown is that of Gene Snow. The Dallas, Texas veteran who started his career in the early 1960s with Super Stockers, moved into a phenomenal career with funny cars, and then after a short retirement came into the Pro Nitro Dragster ranks. This year, the man's been almost unbeatable. He won the IHRA World Championship before the end of the season. He already has set the national speed record at 273.55 miles per hour and has to be considered one of the toughest machines going into today's Angus Chemical Showdown.
And you are looking at that dragster in action. This is Gene the Snowman Snow from Fort Worth, Texas. He'll be going against Mike Brotherton from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You know, Ted, it may seem like a tremendously experienced individual against a brand new driver, but Brotherton in just his first year, very first race, in fact, at the Winter Nationals, made it to the semis. In the second race of the year, he got runner-up. The kid is incredibly tough.
He's going against the IHRA World Champion, though, Gene Snow.
On the green light, Brotherton is out in front. I don't believe it. Brotherton pulling away, but Snow moves in and gets it.
We almost had an upset there. Brotherton was out on top, and then Gene Snow moved. Let's look at it again. Brotherton is out first. Look at that reaction time of 1:69. Weaves just a little bit as he comes off that pad. Look at the front wheels of Snow lift up as he shifts to high gear. It was horsepower time.
Unbelievable battle. I'll tell you, Mike Brotherton had his greatest win going there. John Kerry now gets ready to fire up his streamlined dragster. The diesel mechanic, and I should say owner of one of the largest diesel emporiums in the East Coast, gets ready to take on the 30-year veteran. Kalita once again pulling to the side to avoid putting fuel under those tires.
Don't forget, Connie Kalita turned in that 5:40, which is the fastest time Kalita has ever run. And that's going to give John Kerry plenty of trouble. Kalita also an experienced veteran.
I'll tell you, with Connie Kalita and John Kerry battling each other, these two have something in common, and that's that neither is afraid to put as much horsepower into the motor and into the clutch combination as possible. In fact, they'll either put down a good run or they'll just blow it away.
That could be trouble for John Kerry. He's running in that far lane, and that really hasn't been the best lane today at this racetrack, Brett.
Well, it's helped Gene Snow's strong runs in the past, but obviously if a driver tries to put too much horsepower down, it's going to be a very fine line situation. Kalita apparently is ready. He moves into stage, the tree goes green, and they're off the starting line. But as you can see, Kerry boils the tires, and Kalita has engine problems.
Connie Kalita, 5.435, 260.11. That sets up a storybook final. The two KG veterans will be facing off. Now, Gene Snow has been quicker off the starting line with a 219 to Kalita's 260, but Connie Kalita had the quicker ET, which means he'll get lane choice. Stay tuned. Back at Bristol, Brett Kepner has moved to the Gene Snow pit area as they prepare for the finals.
Just before the final round of $25,000 to win action here at the Angus Chemical Pro Nitro Dragster Showdown, Gene Snow's crew has opted to change all 8 pistons. They burned one piston just a little tiny bit in the semifinal win that slowed to a 5.51 second elapsed time. However, Snow feels confident that there isn't any other engine damage to speak of, and the machine should be set to go back into the 5.3 second zone for the final against Kalita.
A part of professional drag racing that you don't normally see here on ESPN is Sponsors Row. That's a place where all the IHRA sponsors display their products and talk to the fans. One of those big sponsors this year has been Motorcraft. Motorcraft was very involved in IHRA Pro Stock drag racing, and you saw earlier here on ESPN the Hearst Pro Stock Shootout. That's a forerunner to the Angus Nitro Showdown. Brett Kepner talked with Ross Lindsay from Motorcraft.
Ross is motorsports coordinator for Motorcraft. You've got to be awfully pleased with Ricky Smith's brand new 88 Thunderbird.
The car turned out actually better than I thought it was going to. Changed the paint a little bit. We're looking at some more schemes for next year, but the car looks dynamite. And from yesterday's couple of first runs on the car performed miraculously.
Well, I got to tell you that as the only Ford representative in this field, it's pretty easy to tell who you're pulling for.
Well, yeah, that makes it a whole lot easier. You know, there are a number of Fords, and we're really happy to see the number of Fords that are racing in IHRA Pro Stock, especially. And obviously, with Ricky flying the Motorcraft banner, we do have a little bit of additional support for him. But a number of the other competitors are running our products, and we support them too. I just hope that there's a Ford in the winner's circle. That's a.
It's time for our quick fact, brought to you by new Quaker State with QSX. Keeps your engine cleaner to last longer.
There's a very, very fine line between too much of a nitromethane percentage in the tank and too little. Too much will allow you to incinerate just about every piston in the engine and possibly do even more damage. Too little nitromethane, and there won't be enough power to get around your opponent. Bear one thing in mind. The Pro Nitro Dragster Pro Nitro funny cars you're seeing here today will burn anywhere from 8 to 14 gallons of nitromethane per quarter-mile run. And that, my friends, is at a cost of $29.50 a gallon. Although it may indeed be one of the most expensive fuels in use in motorsports today, is this jug full of nitromethane that enables these machines to produce over 3,000 horsepower.
These nitro-powered dragsters produce a lot of heat, as evidenced by the Connie Coletta clutch actually causing water to boil. Brett Kepner has moved down to the Connie Coletta pit area.
When this all-copper cylinder head gasket burned up during Connie Coletta's semi-final round win, it was time not to replace the broken parts, but to put in a completely new engine. Right now, the brand new cylinder block, another aluminum Chrysler Hemi replica, has already been inserted between the frame rails of Coletta's streamlined dragster by Coletta's crew chief, Larry Frazier, and his son, Scott Coletta. Right now, however, it's a mad thrash. No less than 6 people working on this machine. They have only 35 minutes to get this engine together before the $25,000 final round. They have to put on a brand new supercharger, cylinder heads, and of course put in new connecting rods and pistons, as well as bolting on the oil pan and replacing the transmission and clutch. It may seem like an incredible job. In fact, it would take your average garage about 2 months to perform this particular piece of work. But right now, it's a 30-minute routine thrash for Coletta and family.
The $25,000 final showdown is next. The racing action has been hot at Bristol International Dragway for the Angus Nitro Showdown.
One of the most amazing things about this, the very first edition of the Angus Chemical Nitro Showdown, is the fact that it drew a packed house here at Bristol International Dragway of some of the best spectators in IHRA Championship drag racing, and they're here to witness the final battle.
And why not, Brett, as this has been the 8th greatest cars in Pro Nitro Dragster drag racing, and it's boiled down to a storybook finish. 2 aged veterans, Connie Coletta, you're looking into his eyes right now against this man, Gene Snow.
It's amazing, between these two, over 60 years of championship drag racing experience. But one thing that's interesting, Ted, is the fact that Connie Coletta has a phenomenally larger amount of experience in dragsters than Gene Snow. Snow had a total of 7 final round appearances in his drag racing career, but in the funny car ranks. Connie Coletta has been to the final round of 10 IHRA national events over the last 17 years. Therefore, he knows a lot more about these long wheelbase machines, especially on this racetrack.
But don't forget, Brett, Connie Coletta also made his fame and fortune in a funny car known as the Bounty Hunter. So these guys have been messing around with nitromethane so long that it's probably running in their bloodstream.
Coletta boils the Goodyears on the back of the machine, traditionally pulling over to the side, again to keep those rear tires clean and away from the fuel that spills on the racetrack.
Now, don't forget, Connie Coletta has lane choice, and that could be very important because they've been having just a little bit of problem with that far lane. So Coletta, being the KT veteran that he is, has stuck Snow over there in that far lane. Can Gene Snow dial that clutch in for that lane and turn out another one of those 530 runs?
I'll tell you, it's going to be an awfully difficult task. We've seen 2 of the 8 machines just blaze the tires right off these dragsters in that particular lane. And Snow, even though he has a tremendous grip on racing surfaces across the country, has obviously got to be giving it everything he's got. Now, that dry burnout you just saw, the chirp, as you call it, over the starting line, proved that Snow has the rear end set up right. The car did not smoke the tires that time.
That could be very important, and I'm sure Connie Coletta is trying to determine that very same thing right now as he backs into those hot, sticky tracks of rubber that he just got through laying down on the wet burnout. You're taking a look right now at Connie Coletta. I wonder what he's thinking.
I'll tell you, you can't tell just by looking at him. Coletta is so nonchalant whenever he's in the cockpit of a car. He's at home. He's doing what he was meant to do. His son, Scott Coletta, backing him up. Wayne Dupuy on Gene Snow's crew, looking inside, checking the gauges.
Look at the crews. They're wiping down those tires. This is one great final. Look at the intense concentration by Connie Coletta.
Coletta just waiting patiently, and now inching forward to the pre-staged and staged photo cells that will mark the start of this battle. Snow's crew chief, Guy Tipton, turns on the onboard computer as Colita's crew continues wiping down those tires.
It's white knuckle time. There'll be $25,000 on the line. There's Scott Coletta looking at his father, staging the car. It's out of his hands. It's all up to the drivers now.
The green light comes on. They leave side by side. It's a wheel-to-wheel battle all the way down. Above them, smoke from Colita.
It's Gene Snow. Gene Snow wins it all. He won the iTray World Championship. Now he's won $25,000 and the Angus Nitro Showdown. What a year for Gene Snow. Take a look at this race one more time. Reaction times almost identical. Actually, Coletta off the line first. Now you see a little bit of tire smoke from Coletta. Watch for that puff of smoke. Right there, you see it. That cost Coletta the race.
Couldn't ask for a better way to end the year. This is just incredible.
It's perfect. I was scared to death we weren't going to have the performance, but it came right back. We were really excited. My crew, everybody did great.
It was the quickest side-by-side in race in IHRA history by miles. Coletta lost with a 5:42 at 261 miles an hour.
Well, I knew he was right there. I could almost hear him right there. It was great.
Now, it looks like there may have been some damage on this pass, but I guess it doesn't matter that much.
I hate to brag, we hadn't heard a piston all weekend. That's all right, we'll sacrifice one or two.
What a way to cap off the season for Gene the Snowman Snow, a 5.339, the quickest time in iTray history. He ends it all with a world record.